It's a matter of opinion whether justice was done at this year's Eurovision.The. The only thing we can all agree on is no one could say the real winner tonight was music. To my mind, only a very few people came out of it well. Wind machine operators, dancers who used their training at mime school to upstage their nation's singers, manufacturers of indoor fireballs, and above all whichever conglomerate supplied the Portuguese electricity board, the Russians probably. Otherwise, everything about Eurovision was awful as ever. Not just the actual songs, the music and the lyrics, but the stage designs, choreography, fashion. Eurovision is so bad that's actually the point of it these days, as if saying it's supposed to be somehow makes it okay, and calling it camp means it's officially fun, rather the opposite, painful. The gimmicks are embarrassingly zany, whether they are doing Iceland's answer to the Macarena or acting out the threat of nuclear war using the Romanian equivalent of Cirque Du Soleil.A. A notion that is more terrifying than what they're warning us about.It is hard to decide which was worse, the entries that were totally mindless and so brazenly derivative that the performers, generally Eastern European, sang in caught English-American accents, or the alternatives, alarmingly nationalistic anthems whose political messages and existential angst were equally, excruciatingly, adolescent. Given all this, shouldn't the country with the lowest number of votes win? Wouldn't this be the act that was the most Eurovision? It was hard to tell who provided the highlights, when in Eurovision the best moments are the worst, or at least the most bonkers. Elina Foureira from Estonia had a dress that had its own microclimate, including a tornado and northern lights, while the singer of Denmark's tribute to 1098 looked more like Chewbacca than a Viking. Eleni Foureira invited us to take a dive into my eyes, the eyes of a lioness, feel the power, take a little look, a little touch, like Cyprus's version of Derren Brown dressed as Cher, before appearing to conclude, for reasons best known to herself, a woman who had finished second on Finland's Got Talent and its version of The Voice, began her song tied to a wheel, spinning round like a magician's assistant. But, disappointingly, instead of having knives thrown at her, soon dismounted to be escorted around the stage by a troupe of camp dancing Nazis wearing PVC boots and uniforms, but no tops on. My own favorite was Marilyn, a clearly disturbed young man who fancied himself as the Ukrainian Gary Numan and took no chances by chucking in every idea he'd ever had in his bedroom, fantasizing about being famous. It opened with him trapped in some sort of ladder contraption and ended up surrounded by flames playing a grand piano, having gone to the trouble of changing into a white jacket but seemingly not noticing the stage was burning down because of his Marilyn Manson contact lenses. As the act that opened the show, they could have saved everyone a lot of trouble and prevented a lot of crimes against music, fashion, and dancing if they just made Marilyn the winner there and then. Toy is about the awakening of female power and social justice wrapped in a colorful happy vibe. Egg, Wonder Woman, don't you ever forget you're divine, and he's about to regret he's a bucka MHM buck big MHM boy bucka MHM buck big. Best medical update, that was inadvertently the nicest thing anyone ever said about her old man standing on a pillar on side of stage wearing dark glasses playing panpipes, Serbia. Irritating singers suddenly inexplicably getting a double midway through their song, Moldova. Most gratuitous romantic by a boyfriend who looked like like a stalker who'd forced the star into letting him appear on stage, even though he couldn't sing or play a musical instrument matching rubber, t-shirt, trousers, and shoes in different, nasty shades of purple. Austria, trousers with one skinny leg and one flared. France, Bob Dylan if he was in Aerosmith. The Netherlands, best use of wind machine lying on stage in a Penelope. Keith Knighty whispering and warbling like Diana Vickers instead of singing. Lithuania, Jana Bergendorf is one of Bulgaria's most controversial female artists in recent years, as this song is inspired by a Viking from 1098. Worst rebels who were on Eurovision. Oz stands for anti-white sheep because they're the black sheep of the competition. Love is like a black hole, everything is dark. We were drifting like two icebergs over the ocean. There were troubles in the water. You swore it was nothing. You said that we would always stay afloat, etc. Ireland, why have you been coming home late in the evening? Worst man who deserved to be cheated on. There's a smile on your face that I haven't seen since we started going out. I wanna be the fire even if it burns. Offer up my fiber. You've got stories never told. You got secrets to unfold. You're holding information standing right in front of me. A hidden rhapsody. I walk into temptation. It's a fine line between whiskey and water into wine. The Netherlands, the curtains down. I'm laughing at the trial. Help me to unravel tangle of my innocence inside. Faith's about to be severed. Won't get any better. Desperate thoughts. Your hope call you a liar. Fear begins to revel. Nothing but your will sets you on fire. I thought we'd be together till we died. I'll forever wonder why. Ireland.